story is about my favorite word, which is fuck. You know, fuck is my favorite word. I woke up, I had a really horrible morning, and so I got to wake up in the morning using my favorite word, which is maybe the best possible way to wake up in the morning, I guess. I don't know how else to put it. But I've been chastised at work for using this word. It's not an uncommon word to use in the newsroom, as you can imagine. You probably hear it a lot, and other words too. But I was chastised last year by our advertising director and was asked to stop using it on a regular basis. And my editor, quickly came out of my defense and said, "This is a fucking newsroom! We say fuck!" That kind of thing. And I was like, "Hey, I'm sorry, I just thought, maybe, the other people in the office wouldn't like to hear that word so often." And I've been accused of not being ladylike and all this other stuff. I don't know where they would get that. So this love affair for this word, it started with my mom, who's a single parent, single mom, raised me, beautiful human being. She's Tucson. If you ever see in the street, please feel free to tell her she's an incredible woman. And she's a tough lady, she's a nurse anesthetist, she's raising a kid on her own, and she's had lots of great experiences. And so part of that in raising me and lots of great experiences is being able to teach me about the appropriate use of curse words. And fuck is one of them, shit, all sorts of great words. But I remember realizing that other people in my family didn't have the opportunity that I did to be able to be raised in this manner. And so we were living in the Republic of Panama. I grew up there 10 years out of my childhood. And my mom, it wasn't a big deal for us to get in the VW bug and head into Panama City. So we had some cousins visiting from Tucson. And we all piled into my mom's bug, and we were going into the city to show them all sorts of cool stuff. And my mom's like trying to get into the traffic, and there are these Chiva buses, and these crazy buses, crazy bus drivers, crazy taxis, typical Latin American urban city setting. And my mom's like, yeah, she's getting there. My mom's a smoker, so just prepare yourself. Windows down, mom's, get this traffic, she's getting in. She's like, fuck it is, traffic! She's like, the Chiva buses are yelling at her, and she's like, yeah, well, chinga! She's, showing them. I don't know if she did this. I think she just did this pretty much, like the whole family thing, not just the one single person. But my cousins, we were all chatting during this whole thing. To me, it was just like normal life, I never thought of it as like, oh, my mom, or, there weren't other times like arguing with airline people at the airport and things like that I had moments, but this was like normal stuff. Cousins got really quiet in the car, and they're like, oh, what the hell, what's going on? And we get home, and they're like, this is the first, I just don't, my cousin Jane actually cried, and she's like, this is, I think, the first time she'd ever heard an adult of her family, so when she was close to and respected, actually use a curse word. And my mom's like, well, fucking welcome to the house, She had no qualms. I think for her, there were 3 things that she felt you could trust in a person. Did they curse? Did they smoke? And did they drink coffee? Any one of those things, then they were a trustworthy individual. So, speaking of the past, I'm pretty sure she still believes this. She doesn't really drink coffee anymore. She quit smoking a long time ago. She's holding on to those curse words. So I guess, the unfortunate part, I think like Sarah kind of talked about this, is that you pass these wonderful things on to your kids, right? Teaching them the beauty of curse words, right? So I definitely did that when I first became a mom, and I have a really bright kid, which is good and bad, And so he started speaking at a really early age. And who's Tony? You're okay? Tony, you're doing your job. What's going on? So I hadn't really, the whole thing of the power of being a parent and things like that, it just doesn't really dawn on you, especially when you're a working parent and doing the whole hustle home and all that stuff. We lived in Washington at the time, and it was winter, and we're getting home, and God, Rafi's in his little snowsuit kind of thing. He's about a little less than 18 months old. And he's already kind of talking, using words and a little bit, interesting stuff, but nothing like fuck, obviously. But so we come in, and we open the door, and the dog had ripped up a magazine at the front door, and I'm like, I didn't say anything, but the kid in his red snowsuit, all bundled up, looks down at the ground and realized that Hava had chewed up a magazine. He's like, oh shit. Did he say that? I think he may have said that. But I wasn't sure, because your little kid's like, what? It sounds like, oh shit, or, whatever kids say sound. So I wasn't sure. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh man, this is interesting. So I go about getting him out of suit, go make dinner. Something else happens, and I hear the kid again. Oh shit. Again, the brightness of the child, very appropriately. It was used appropriately every time, Oh shit. Yeah, the magazine, oh shit. It was so weird. So I get on the phone. I got on the phone with his preschool, the daycare he went to. I said, I just have a quick question for you. Was Rafi kind of using a word, oh shit, all day long? Like, did he, She said, we weren't really sure, but we kind of wondered if he was too, because it was always very appropriate. Yeah, that's pretty cool, but not so cool. And of course, I realized, as we were going about, home stuff, that yeah, it was oh shit. At least it wasn't the other word, I suppose, which was a good thing to think about. But, I think that the other part of dealing with this is then you have a kid who's 12 years old, who's smart, intelligent, knows that he's not supposed to say words. Like I was taught, do as I say, not as I do, kind of a thing. You're not supposed to, the horribleness of what we pass on to our kids, right? But I think that, he's doing his own thing in terms of like feeling it out. What words can I use? What words can I not use? What's appropriate? And we've had these discussions, and he just told me in the audience just a second ago that I'm divorced, he can use 5 cuss words at his father's house, only 3 at my house. So, I'm like, this is interesting balance kind of thing, I'm like thinking, I used to go through these things like, I'm the worst parent in the universe, typical things. I'm sure my mom did the same thing when she was raising me as well. But then I'm like, 3, 5, not so bad, I don't think, Anyway, so enjoy your fucking day, night, whatever, and I appreciate it. Goodbye. Thank you.